I'm going to breeze through some highlights from the last year. And we'll start here. This is really work that we have accomplished together. We have two main purposes at GPCOG. One is to serve you, to try to help our cities and towns become stronger and for us to provide you capacity. And then the second is for us to lead the region towards greater shared and sustainable prosperity, toward a brighter future. And this is something that GPCOG staff cannot do alone. This is something that all of you are involved in this leadership challenge that we have. In 2022, if we go to the next slide, in 2022, we were still emerging from the pandemic, and we did a lot to distribute money. It was $70 million, mostly going to small businesses throughout the entire region. We are still distributing some of this money. We've gotten new grants just in the last month that'll continue to help our businesses throughout. The next slides are going to focus a little bit on transportation. One of the things that you asked us last year and the year before was to do our work to attract more money to the region. And we were able to get $15 million in discretionary grants, thanks to the leadership of Hank Berg at Casco Bay Lines and Greg Jordan at Metro. We have a new ferry that's being built right now, and on the next slide you'll see we have 4 new electric vehicle buses in Portland and in Biddeford-Saco. This is tremendous. So this was great, and as they get that money for those projects, it frees up more money in our transportation formula funds for the rest of us. So in the last year, I love this photo. In the last year, our region also won Best Bus Stop in the country. And this is, yeah, it's really cool. This is Ebenezer Cockpo, and this bus stop is on Congress Street. We were working with Creative Portland and Metro on this as an art project where our shelters are basically a canvas for our community. And this one celebrates friendship and hope in Ghanaian symbols, so we love this. This last year also, we've really focused on getting more money on the street. We have 10 projects that went out to bid for construction in 2022. And in the next slide, you'll see that we've also spent some time this last year in trying to fill up the pipeline. We'll go to the next one, Danny. Thank you. We have 15 upcoming projects in the pipeline that are going to construction this year. And we've been using a lot of the money in the next slide in order to accommodate all users. So people who drive, but also people who are on foot or on pedal, and trying to keep everybody safe. And then on the next slide, you'll see that we have another $30 million worth of projects that are going to be designed in the coming years. And actually, just this week, Westbrook's Main Street, Falmouth's Route 1 North, and Biddeford Alfred Street were funded. So we have a lot to look forward to in the future here. We've also distributed brownfields money. Brownfields money helps us clean up sites that have contamination. And we contributed to the Children's Museum. How many of you have been to the new Children's Museum? With your kids, yeah. It is so beautiful. And if you have grandkids or you have kids or you have neighbors' kids, take them. It's beautiful. We are really happy to be part of this project. We've also been part of a lot of other housing projects throughout the region and have more that are coming your way. Our next slide, we also have been directly supporting 66 jobs. We got about $1.8 million in low interest financing. This is on top of the pandemic relief that we gave. This is through our loans program that is so ably led now by Paul Johnson on our team. And Tony, thinking of ably leading things, Tony Plant, who many of you have known for years, has been part of this community, has built even more savings for you this year. Usually this is about $500,000. It's about half again as much that he's been able to do as he's been strengthening our cooperative purchasing program. And Chris Hall, who is our Director of Regional Initiatives, he leads our advocacy work. We've been working on, let me see if I can remember all the things, housing, transportation, economic development, general assistance, trying to shift more of it to the state, and also extending TIFs so that you can reduce the impact on your taxpayers. We've been working on trying to make sure that the environment out there is supportive to you and that investments are flowing to the greater Portland region. We also have had a lot of asylum seekers who have recently arrived in Maine. And it's a tremendous opportunity for our communities and for our workforce. But the responsibility of taking care of the new families that are arriving and sheltering them has really disproportionately been borne by communities that have a lot of hotels in them, including Portland and South Portland, Freeport, Saco. And we have been working on standing up a program that would be a lot more cost effective in helping to take care of our new arrivals. And this has been really envisioned and led by Belinda Ray on our team. She's done a fantastic job. We stood up a fund for fundraising, and Cape Elizabeth, Scarborough, Westbrook, and Yarmouth all contributed to this fund, and we've been working at the State House for a systemic and lower cost solution to this challenge and opportunity. I'm going to turn now, and that's a website if you want to contribute. I'm going to turn now to economic development. And we have been working with the cities of South Portland and Portland to make sure that our working waterfront keeps strong. And Tom Bell, our communications director, developed an awesome video. And actually, this whole idea of help dig us out. This is going to help our economy in many ways by strengthening the seafood industries and our fisheries and making sure that our harbors continue to work. And so this is one of the things that we worked on this year. We also have a very robust broadband program under Clara McCool, our broadband coordinator. And she's been working with our rural communities in order to expand digital equity, making sure everybody can participate in this economy. We do a lot of planning, and here are some highlights from the transportation plans. I won't go through all of them. This is just to give you a sense of the levels of planning. Many of you have been intimately involved in the development of the recommendations and the funding sources for the implementation. We also work a lot with communities. We have several comp plans up here. You may see yours. We've been really happy to be working on them. We've also been doing village planning and other kinds of planning as well. And then we've been climate action planning also. This was from Freeport. This very colorful picture over here is from Freeport last week and Gorham before. These are all of the different climate plans that we're currently supporting you on. And we also work to convene people around mobility. And we have our community transportation leaders here. Can you raise your hands and be recognized? Yeah, thank you. These folks have been doing such great work to help advise our transportation policymakers on how they see the system when they're using it and helping us make good investments and changes that make the system work for everybody. We have community transportation leaders also that have ridden with our leaders. We have travel trainings, and we have our third cohort of leaders right now. We do a lot of convening. This is a nice shot, such a Maine shot with that moose in the background. This is in Yarmouth. We had folks come together. Really, a lot of your economic development directors have been directing this work in order for us to come up with a regional prosperity plan for the Economic Development Administration that will help our region become stronger over time. And then lastly, I wanted to end with this on our convening. These are our chairs and our vice chairs. Many of you have participated in this yearly gathering. It's really to help you feel supported and to get connected to the rest of your peers. Those of you who are electeds do a really, really hard job. There's harassment, there's social media, there's like so many things that you're experiencing that make it really hard for you to step to the plate and do this job. And we want you to make sure you have other people in the region that you can talk to about this. And in the pandemic, we focused on how you were responding with your budgets. We helped set you up on Zoom when nobody knew what Zoom was. Those are the kinds of things that we use these forums for. And we also have a resilience corps, and some of you are hosts to our fellows. And I would like to ask our resilience corps members to stand. So these 10 people have brought tremendous new capacity at a very, very low price. As Mayor Kate Lewis said it the other night, this is the best deal in town. It's really great, great people, and many of them have found jobs here in Maine and actually with their host organizations. So we see it as a little mini workforce training program as well. I want to thank all of you for helping to strengthen the region. We've been through quite a tumultuous time these last few years as we've gone through the pandemic. I'd like to ask several groups of people to stand and be acknowledged. The first is GPCOG's Executive Committee. If you could stand, please. These folks have really ably led us through some really difficult times and helped us figure out how to focus our energy because there's just so much to do. We also have the Metro Region Coalition here, which is a slightly different group of people who's really focused on some of the urban area issues that spill out to the rest of the region. If you are an MRC member, would you please stand? Thank you. And then we have those of you who sit through a lot of hours in our conference room serving PACS, the Metropolitan Planning Organization on Transportation. If you are part of PACS, would you please be acknowledged not only for your leadership, but for your endurance? Please stand. Thank you. And then, of course, we could not do this work without the team, the staff team at GPCOG. We are really blessed to have so much talent, so much commitment, so much experience in the municipal world. I'd like to ask our entire staff team to stand and be acknowledged. And then one last thing, I want to thank Danny Deason, who has been the captain running this. Yeah, she deserves some whoop whoops, so that's great. And she has been aided by Tom, Tony, and Chris Hall bringing this together, as well as many other people on our team. So thank you, Danny, and everybody. All right, I have a little treat for you today that's different than what we've done before. We asked ChatGPT a question, and I'm going to give you the answer. This was led by Tony, and the question was, could you write a Shakespearean sonnet about the virtues of regionalism? So, here we go. O regionalization, thou art a gem that shines so bright amidst the chaos here in local government, where we condemn our lack of funds and resources so dear. But lo, thou bringst a promise of relief by pooling services and sharing the cost, thus freeing us from budgetary grief and ensuring we're not lost forever. Thou art a means to build strong ties and bonds between the communities that we serve, uniting us in purpose. We respond to every challenge with steadfast nerve. So let us not delay, but swiftly move towards regionalization and improve.